The July jobs report beat expectations as the U.S. economy continues to climb back from the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. I want to bring in economist Stephen Moore, who is a member of President Trump's Economic Recovery Task Force, for more. Hi, Steve. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Hi, Greta. Good to be with you.
We got a great jobs report this morning. What's your big takeaway from that report?
Well, it was a very good report, no question about it. We got 1.8 million additional jobs. By the way, that's the third most jobs ever in any month in American history. The first most jobs was in May, the second most jobs was in June, and this is the third. And the media has actually kind of put a spin on this, saying, oh, the number of new jobs is declining, which is, that's kind of an amazing headline on this, when in fact we're seeing some really healthy jobs growth. We've gained almost 9.5 million jobs in the last 3 months. We're almost halfway there in terms of recovering I think we lost 22 million jobs during the peak of the pandemic. So a lot of work to be done, but this was good. And by the way, the job growth was pretty much across the board. You saw restaurants starting to hire back some people. You saw good construction, manufacturing numbers. The healthcare sector did pretty well. So overall, it's hard to see much to complain about.
It's been a week now since the expanded unemployment benefits expired, and talks over the next relief bill are in a complete deadlock. What's the biggest issue holding up those negotiations?
There are a lot of issues that are holding it up, frankly. I think that the big one is just the price tag, that Nancy Pelosi wants to spend $3 trillion. That's ridiculous. I mean, that would bankrupt the country. So we can't do that. Republicans are at $1 trillion, which is still a lot of money. So aside from the price tag, there is how we would spend the money. Nancy Pelosi wants to spend it on left-wing special interest groups. She wants a big blue state bailout. She wants money for environmental groups. She wants money. They want to actually pass the biggest tax cut for the richest 1% in the history of the United States by getting rid of the state, bringing back the state and local tax deduction. So there's a lot of policy disagreements here. Another big one, as you just mentioned, is how to handle these unemployment benefits.
As those talks have stalled, President Trump has floated the idea of implementing a payroll tax cut through an executive order. How exactly would that work?
Well, this is an idea that I floated in the Wall Street Journal Monday, and now we could see this happening tomorrow or even tonight, given the fact that there were no progress today in the negotiations. So this would basically be Trump has the executive branch authority to delay tax payments during an economic emergency, which we're in right now, and this would allow him to basically give every single worker in America a 7.5% pay raise for the rest of the year. And then what I've advised him to do is say, to the American people, look, if you reelect me president, I'm going to forgive those taxes. So it's a tax cut, not just a delay. And Trump likes that idea, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does it.
You have been advising the president as a member of his Economic Recovery Task Force throughout this pandemic. What are your long-term expectations for the U.S. economy as we do work to recover?
There's really the biggest factor by far, as Greta, is what happens with the virus. If we can get this under control, and it looks like in those southern states that had an outbreak, a month ago or so, it's peaking, and hopefully that it'll fall like it did in the Northeast. Then we could have a pretty healthy fall. And if you start seeing the virus go away, then you're going to see, I think, really positive numbers for the economy, no question about it. Now, that unemployment insurance issue is really important, because if you continue to pay people $600 a week when they're getting twice as much money for not working as working in many states, that is, an unemployed person can get double their last paycheck, it's getting hard for employers to get workers back on the job. That's why this is such a critical issue. You can't give people money to stay unemployed, and if you pay them more than going back on the job, guess what? You're going to have very high unemployment in the fall. It's a critical issue.
All right, economist Stephen Moore joining us to discuss the July jobs report and continued economic recovery amid the coronavirus pandemic. Thanks again so much for coming on the show today, Steve.
Thank you, Greta. Have a great weekend.
You as well.